Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. On the agenda tonight, we're going to be taking a look at Alanis Morissette. So I have been asked to look into the performance from Cardiff on July 2nd, 2025, and somebody's asking me whether this is a live vocal or not. But of course, in order to know if it's live or whether it's lip synced or mimed, we need to cross-reference it with other performances, which I have done. So we'll be looking at 3 performances in all, including this one. But I'm just going to let this play through to begin with, and we might actually get it full screen. I'll get rid of the pitch monitoring software so we can just have a look at this. So, I mean, here, what's great is when you start jumping into the isolated vocal, you hear so much more than the video by itself. So let me just now mute the isolated vocal and we'll hear everything together. I think a part of this is also that she's walking around a lot, and she tends to do this. I say walking around, she's strutting around the stage it's almost like power walking, the speed that she's going around. But when we bring in another performance, and let's watch this one. So, actually, let's listen to this with the accompaniment. I mean, I understand why I've been asked to look at this, because when you hear it in the mix, and the distance of the mic from her mouth, what we're going to do, of course, just watching the video, we're not going to be judging things on, looking at her at this distance from crowd shot footage. And what I just want to do is quickly have a listen to the 3 performances: 21st of July in Budapest, 2025, Cardiff, July 2nd, 2025, Dublin, 29th of June, 2025, and listen to all of these together. So there, I mean, the phrasing is really similar at this particular point in the song. So I can understand why people think, oh, was that just the same vocal 3 times over? So we're going to be jumping into now the analysis of that particular part of the vocal for these 3 performances. So now jumping into the pitch data, as I let this roll on screen, you'll start to notice how nothing matches up. We don't have any replications going on here. So these are 3 fully live performances, and it just so happens at this point they match up quite well timing wise. And the reason for that is that because they are fully live performances, they do go out of time with each other, but at this particular section they sound very similar. So here we can see that the C5 kind of just point above here, and it doesn't look anything like this one, the C5. We do point up here, but we actually hit a B4 beforehand, which we don't do over here. And then here the A4 is not as consistent as this held note. And then we come down, and this part here doesn't look like this. Here we have kind of a smoother slide over, and yeah, over on this side we're not getting anything replicated either. So these are 3 totally separate vocals, and we'll find this throughout the whole performance. Now, when I take it back into what, maybe the first verse? Now we get an appreciation of the difference in timing, because we've moved now to the beginning of the song, and the bit that overlaps quite well is a lot further on. So I'm just going to let this play through. And what I will say about Alanis Morissette and her style vocally, pitch accuracy is a huge part of what she does, because she doesn't hold notes for a long time with a wide vibrato. She does throw vibrato in there now and again, but it's so accurate, like this on the G4, here on the A4. And I have just moved one of the pitch monitors over to the right so that we can see these two next to each other, because when I move these over, and remember, this timing is exactly the same later on in the performance. So when I drag this over, now, even though one of them might look quite similar from here to here, even though we kind of flatten out at this point, when we now move it over, you can see that the vocal on one of the performances happened a lot earlier than the other. So this is why, as you work your way through this, nothing's ever going to match up, because they are genuinely live and they are performances independent of each other. So we're always going to have this kind of thing, this variation of kind of holding the A4 here. And again, the pitch accuracy is just so good. And, but you can see here where we just drift down to the G4, but here we're slightly flat of the G4, and here we start above and come below. But the other thing is, just listening to this, when I said about her vibrato and pitch being everything, she's got this really fast and subtle vibrato in that it doesn't cover a lot of pitch. But look at the pitch accuracy we've got going on here with the G4. Just absolutely bang on, and bang on. So it's very much a pillar of her voice. It's just rooted in pitch accuracy, so that she's really just nailing these notes, and sometimes doing this kind of yodel and nailing notes with that yodel. So I understand why I've been asked to take a look at this, because people see her, like in the background here, almost half running around the stage and still providing this high quality vocal. But when you listen to it in isolation, here, the "one hand in my pocket," that line, you could hear her voice and the amount of steps that she was doing at the time, and the amount of air that she's using to do all of this movement and sing at the same time. But when you hear it in the mix with everything else, then somebody might think, oh, how can she be moving that much and still giving us this great sounding vocal? It's because she's just a great vocalist. She's got her own unique way of doing it. She's really accurate at hitting pitches, and she is singing live of all of these different performances, these 3 different performances that I've looked at. But yeah, we can see that in places, if this were lip synced or mimed, there wouldn't be as many situations where you can hear the breathiness and she loses the grip on the pitch a little bit because of the movement. And that's always a classic giveaway when somebody's doing loads of movement or dancing energetically on stage, and the vocal is pristine and perfect, and you don't hear any of this kind of variation, then it's more than likely going to be a backing track or miming, or at the very least live auto-tune to at least keep the singer's vocals on these lines are very close to these lines, because that's what would have happened here. If she were using live auto-tune, it would have stayed on the A4 and you wouldn't have had that variation in there. But it's a fully live vocal, so there we go, Alanis Morissette, which I think I kind of already thought that this would be the outcome, but unfortunately nowadays you never know. There have been artists that I've looked into that I think, well, no, they're definitely going to be performing live, and then we start to see lines replicating each other and lines going on top of other lines. So yeah, we really have to look at everything in exactly the same objective way as I do on the channel, and you'll always get the result of what's happening. We'll always know what's happening. I'm not saying whether one thing's good or one thing's bad, I'm just saying what it is, and then you can make up your own mind about it. But in this particular case, fully live performances, fully live vocal, and just really accurate pitch-wise from Alanis Morissette. And thank you guys for requesting a look at this particular performance and the other two that I cross-referenced as well, just myself. But keep those requests coming to requests@wingsandpegasus.com. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Rock!